Norwegian cruise line Hurtigruten recently invited us on a 2-week adventure aboard their signature flagship MS Trollfjord, sailing up Norway's rugged coastline to the remote Arctic archipelago of Svalbard, and with it, the last town on Earth before the North Pole, a place where polar bears roam freely, and the risk of becoming an unplanned part of this apex predator's lunch is very real. It's not all dangerous liaisons, though. This extremely fun voyage is the ultimate Norwegian coastal cruise. If you dream of exploring Norway, but prefer breathtaking fjords over bustling cruise crowds, this voyage is definitely for you. Expect untouched landscapes, off-the-radar gems, and the kind of wild beauty that most travellers never get to see. Oh, and we can't forget to mention the food. There are 370 cruise ships worldwide, and we believe this ship has the best restaurant of all of them. That's right, all of them. Don't believe us? Well, we're going to show you. This is no ordinary Norwegian voyage. After watching, you may never look at a regular Norway cruise in the same way again. Let's go. Flying into Norway is nothing short of spectacular, so do yourself a favour and book a window seat. If you forget, at least sit next to somebody polite enough to tolerate you leaning over them. The coastline as you approach is utterly stunning, but also wildly complicated, and it's not surprising Slarty Bartfast won an award for it. Confusing or not, it's breathtaking, especially as you descend into Bergen. Bergen Airport is exactly what you'd expect from a Scandinavian country known for its effortless efficiency. Cool, calm, and meticulously organised, with a cheeky side of toilet humour.
That's brilliant.
Even baggage claim tackled one of my greatest pet peeves, ICS, Inconsiderate Carousel Syndrome.
Oh, I do like that. If anyone's heard me rant about that before, it's the first time I've ever seen anything written on the floor. So we're outside the airport and there's a shuttle bus that goes to the centre of town, right outside the hotel. So 440 kroner, straight to the hotel. Good, isn't it? Welcome to Bergen. Or as the sign says, Bergen? You have to read it like that. Bergen?
Before we knew it, we were on the airport's shuttle coach to our hotel, the Radisson Blu, which sits right in the heart of Bergen's historic Briggen Hanseatic Wharf, the perfect spot to start our adventure. And as with all good trips, there was only one way to mark the occasion: crack open a couple of cold ones and toast to the next 2 weeks of Arctic exploration. Norway, we bloomin' love you already.
Welcome to Bergen. We've got some beers on the go because we just got here. And I've got a Two Captains double IPA, 8.5%. Hey, Helen's got like a ginger beer.
Ginger beer.
But it's like a beer with ginger beer in it. Where are we going?
Svalbard.
The true north, the Game of Thrones style.
Is it 80 degrees north, I think?
80 degrees, almost 80 degrees north. Well, Svalbard's on the 80 degree north, but I don't think we quite make 80 degrees north on this trip.
Nearly.
We get really close to it.
Nearly.
We cross the Arctic Circle, and if you don't know what the Arctic Circle is, did you know the Arctic Circle is the point at which a certain time of the year it's always dark, and at a certain time of the year it's always light? And that's how they measure where the Arctic Circle is. And this is like the ultimate Norway cruise.
Well, it's a country intensive, isn't it?
It is.
We're literally not leaving Norway.
And it goes in detail all the way up the coast. And then you pop off the top from Honningsvåg to Svalbard to Longyearbyen. Wait, you oh, look.
There's a Segway tour.
It's a Segway tour. Just stopped in front of us. Looking very interested at the Briggen. This is the ultimate Norway cruise, as far as I'm concerned. There's no other cruise that calls in so many places and gets so far north. And the cuisine is going to be amazing as well. So please, come along with us. We're going to absolutely adore this next 2 weeks. It's a full 14-night cruise. Can't wait to show you.
Yeah, very excited.
Let's go and get some dinner, shall we? Well, good morning from Briggen, the UNESCO World Heritage area of Bergen. We've chosen our bakers, Bakerbrunn, for breakfast. Let's go in, shall we? Oh yes. Welcome to breakfast, Briggen style. Embarkation day today.
Yeah, we thought we'd go out and have a walk and find a cafe, and we turned out at the hotel and literally like 2 steps down.
Yeah, what's this bakery?
So we didn't get very far.
So here we are at the, what is it, Hurtigruten terminal. I think that's how the taxi driver called it. Apologies to Norwegians on that one. Very quiet, isn't it? Look. Wow. This is much better than the old bun fights of the Southampton terminals. Very, very relaxed. Shall we go in now?
Stepping onto the MS Trollfjord in Bergen might just be the most stress-free embarkation we've ever experienced. No long lines, no chaos, just a seamless process in the modern and spacious Hurtigruten terminal, where check-in is as smooth as a Norwegian fjord at sunrise.
Well, that was very easy. What do we do now?
Well, we've got to go up here and wait in the guest lounge and then do a safety briefing at 11:45, which is about half an hour away. And
great.
then at 12 o'clock we can get on the ship.
Whee! This is such a cool little terminal, isn't it? Look at this. Hello. Oh, wow, that's so cool. So here's another part of the terminal through those doors that we were sitting near. Wow, this is gorgeous. Look at this. Proper Norwegian cafe in here. Oh, absolutely beautiful terminal. Beautiful. I know I'm here quite early, but you know, with a passenger capacity of only 500, you're not going to get a heaving throng in here all fighting over things, are you? It's just going to be like just so nice. Wow, look at this. This is amazing. Oh wow. Look down here. Right, here we are at the terminal, waiting to board. Helen's going through some paperwork.
Reading the
But
info.
this terminal, it's just so relaxed. Look at it. Really relaxed. What a great way to start a vacation.
Guests can relax in the lounge while waiting to board, and the safety briefing is handled right there in the terminal, meaning that once you're on the ship, you can immediately switch into vacation mode.
Well, safety briefing over. We are about to board the ship. Exciting, isn't it? Thank you. We are going to be the first on board. We are literally the first ones on board. Oh my goodness. How cool is this? This is so chilled. The way this is all done. Welcome on board, it says. Look at this. Here we are. Press the button. Oh. Where are you going? Ooh. There it is.
Built in 2002 and refurbished in 2023, the Trollfjord is now the flagship for voyages from Bergen to Svalbard. You can choose a week-long northbound or southbound voyage, or like us, go all in with a 2-week Bergen round trip, because both ways stop at different places, so it's a proper 2-week itinerary. As suite guests, we enjoyed priority embarkation. The first stop, the Epsilon Lounge on Deck 8, a cosy hideaway on the port side, reserved for suite guests during embarkation. For an hour or so, we enjoyed a welcome glass of champagne, while the charming shop manager helped us pick our complimentary suite guest clothing haul, a Hurtigruten collection waterproof jacket, a supremely soft merino wool sweater, and a choice of woolen beanie hat. All top quality, all extremely expensive if you were to buy them, and to be given them was not what we were expecting at all. Not a bad way to kick off a cruise, is it? While the lovely shop manager had our haul delivered to our suite, we were whisked off to Rost, the ship's fine dining restaurant on Deck 8. Suite guests can have breakfast, lunch and dinner here all day, And with floor-to-ceiling sea views and an open kitchen, we had a feeling we'd be spending a lot of time in this spot.
First lunch of the voyage. Anyway, cheers, darling. And they've given us this table for the entire voyage in the evening if we wish. My initial impressions are, I mean, look at these glasses. I don't know if you can see that. They are beautiful, and this restaurant is beautiful. I think we're just going to be spoilt rotten for 2 weeks. Certainly way beyond our expectations. Lovely to meet you, Anne. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. I think everything is very authentic Norwegian. I think that's what Hurtigruten are about. Norwegian cuisine, Norwegian crew.
Enter Eric, the restaurant manager, who introduced himself and checked for any dietary preferences, a crucial step since Rost operates on a set menu format. 3 courses for lunch, 5 for dinner. Actually, there's no menu to peruse. The chefs create each course based on whatever fresh ingredients they pick up along the way. Yes, they shop en route. How's that for farm to table at sea?
Oh, if only you could smell this. Beef tenderloin. That is like blueberry air. Okay, we've just finished our first lunch on board. And I think we both agree, pretty special Hurtigruten. I can't wait for this next 2 weeks. That was so good. Congratulations. We doff our cruise hats to you.
Over the next 2 weeks, we'll be spoiled with Michelin star level cuisine twice a day, every day.
We're just waiting for our room. It should be available in about 10 minutes' time. We have just had the best lunch I think we've ever had on embarkation, and probably
on any ship.
On any ship at any time. The food was just Michelin star all the way.
It was incredible.
And that's just lunch. That's just a 3-course lunch. We've got a 5-course dinner menu tonight at 7 o'clock. We are due to leave Bergen in the next hour, I would say.
Just under an hour.
And, well, our expectations have been blown away already, I think, with Hurtigruten.
With rooms ready by 2 p.m, we decided to check out our home for the next 2 weeks, Suite 819, an expedition suite at the aft of the ship, instantly recognisable from the outside thanks to its distinctive bay window that juts out over the sea. The suite itself was spacious, featuring separate living and sleeping areas, each with a large TV, not that you'd need it with these views, and that bay window, oh my, a panoramic 180-degree spectacle of the ocean, infinitely better than a standard balcony, especially in Arctic conditions. Even with the glorious weather we had, we never once missed an open balcony. Instead, we curled up by the window, mesmerised by the endless seascape. As if the suite wasn't perfect enough, we were greeted with thoughtful welcome gifts, setting the tone for this exceptional voyage. By late afternoon, it was time for sail away from sunny Bergen, celebrated with a glass of champagne for all guests on the top deck. Norwegian flags in hand, we waved farewell as the MS Trollfjord glided out to sea. The adventure was officially underway.
It's sail away, and they've given us a glass of something and a Norwegian flag. I've got flag cam taking us down to the back of the ship. Goodbye, Bergen. See you in a fortnight.
No sooner had the last champagne bubbles fizzled than it was welcome talk time in the lecture hall on deck 5. The coastal team introduced themselves and gave an overview of the ship, voyage and activities for the coming 2 weeks. We'd be seeing a lot of this team. Think shore excursion people with exceptional knowledge. Trust us, they are each a living, breathing ChatGPT of Arctic knowledge. A particularly handy feature? The daily meetings covering each port of call and its activities. Held in 4 different languages, that's Norwegian, English, German and French. You only have to attend your language session rather than sit through every translation. And if you miss one, no problem, they're also broadcast live and available on your cabin TV. With evening approaching, we made our way to the 1893 bar for pre-dinner drinks. This double-height lounge is the social hub of the ship, offering 270-degree sea views, plush seating, a self-service hot drink station and a central bar. It's the perfect place to unwind, whether sipping cocktails or indulging in the daily afternoon tea, which comes in the form of a small buffet situated on the bar. There's another afternoon tea and roast, but we'll show that later, because, oh my goodness, it's amazing. Welcome to the 1893 bar. This is just the cocktail menu. We've got a beverage menu and a beer menu to show you as well. So we've got timeless classics. All these are 185 krona each, or they're included in the suite concept.
Which comes out at about £13.50, I think.
At current exchange rates. Now the signature cocktails are where it gets interesting. They're so interesting to read about them and to try them. If you want to have a look at them, just press pause and read them for yourselves. But most of them are based on Norwegian spirits, Norwegian botanicals, berries and things that are foraged from the land. And there's one included cocktail in the standard beverage package. So let's move on to the beer menu. All the beers you see here are from Norway.
If there's no price next to them, then they're included.
Again, there's some really interesting beers here. So if you love your beers, you can just spend your entire week or two working your way through the beer menu. And these are obviously the breweries, Bardin, Hurtigruten Pale Ale. So some of these have been brewed specifically for Hurtigruten. There's a Hurtigruten lager there. And there's a Trollfjord, look, Pilsner. Made from the water from the famous Trollfjord, which the ship is named after. You've got the Svalbard brewery, which is the most northern brewery in the world. And there's a map of all the breweries. So if you're a beer lover, this is the place for you. Finally, we have the beverages. Well, most of these are not included in any of the packages, including sweet. But you've got some distilled things for Hurtigruten here. This is intriguing. The Habets Bobler, stored under the sea, 34 metres below sea level on this cruise.
2 stars. It means that they might not have them in stock.
They might not have them. Yeah, they're
And
limited
if they've got
quantities.
1 star, then they're,
They have them.
but they're not
Actually,
included.
the Hurtigruten Premier Aquavit, I can try
Is
that.
included, yeah.
I'll give that a go. We've lost the Northern Lights Bridge, Ferry Ocean Distillery on an island northwest of Bergen. A lot of these are aquavits. Norwegians, it's their sort of liqueur of the country. Oh, there's an aquavit menu. More aquavit. Gosh, there's lots of aquavit. And then you've got gin, brandy, vodka, bitters. Some of these are not from Norway, obviously. I can't think of Norway being a particularly huge tequila mezcal producer.
Quite a few included
The
wines.
sommelier was telling us, though, that by law you're not allowed to produce wine in Norway yet.
No.
And that's the beverage menu. It's fabulous, isn't it? What a great bar with a great view. Cheers. Of course, all these drinks are only possible if you have a brilliant bar staff. And here they are. Soon it was time to leave the bar and head for our first 5-course mystery menued dinner. As you can see from these clips, it did something that I thought would never be possible. It made the lunch here look second tier. And with the wine pairing, well, I defy anyone to doubt the talents of Andre and Henrik, the chefs, and of course sommelier Oscar. By the end of it, we were done. What a first day. But here's a little heads up. For anyone cruising Norway in June, if you need total darkness to sleep, bring an eye mask. The midnight sun is very real, and it really feels like time becomes an abstract concept. Good luck convincing your body it's bedtime when the sky still looks like golden hour. Consider this a preemptive apology for the linguistic crimes committed in the remaining days of this vlog. Norwegian is a gorgeous language, but when you learn it on the fly, things can, and will, go horribly wrong. To the kind and endlessly patient people of Norway, we are truly sorry for the butchering of your place names beyond recognition. But in our defence, there's something hardwired into the British genetic code that makes us tragically useless at foreign languages. We try, of course, badly. So if you hear us pronounce a town in a way that makes you physically cringe, just know we do mean well. Waking up in Åndalsnes, we were greeted with a front row view of the gondola right from our suite. Tempting, but also raising the age-old travel dilemma. What exactly are we doing today? With no solid plan and a firm belief that all great decisions start with food, we made our way to Rost for breakfast, prepared by the third of the brilliant chef team here, Isabella. Over freshly baked bread, Norwegian salmon and enough coffee to power, well, Åndalsnes, we strategized our day before heading ashore early, ready to embrace whatever adventure came our way. Because sometimes the best itineraries are the ones you make up as you go. Well, good morning from Andelsnes.
Andelsnes.
We've got the Trollfjord in the background, look at that. And we're just going to have a walk around the town. There's a gondola that goes up to, it's called the Romsdalen Gondola. I'm standing right in front of it now, and it looks terrifying. And it's quite expensive as well, because it was opened in 2021, and it's about £80, 80 of your British pounds for a return for 2 people. So it's quite expensive just to go up to the viewpoint. I reckon we can walk to a viewpoint. Anyway.
Yeah, no excursions, but we're just going to have a wander around today.
Let's have a wander around this pretty little town, shall we? Let's go. Andelsnes is the kind of place that makes you question whether Norway is even real. With dramatic mountains, deep fjords and scenery so stunning, looks like it's AI. There's no wonder this little town, home to just 2,400 lucky residents, thrives on tourism. People flock here for world-class hiking, climbing and skiing. In short, if you love the great outdoors, except open water swimming, Andelsnes is basically your playground. What have we got here? So we're on the edge of town, and Rampestreken, Romsdalsøen. Yeah, I think that's the way. Ooh, look at that. Right, here we go then. Welcome to the path. Actually, we're getting quite high already. Look, there's the ship. There's a viewpoint already. What a pretty little viewpoint. Look over the town. Lots of these little trolley sculptures on the way up. They're quite cute. There's a picnic stall. Look at that. Breathtaking.
Oh, that's pretty, look.
Yeah, look at the view. Whoa. That is beautiful. Look at the valley. Well, we made it halfway up the mountain, stopped for a bit to take in the view, left our camera on the floor at various points on the trail, before sensibly deciding that lunch at Rost and a guaranteed return to the ship on time were far more appealing than a mad scramble to the top, than a panicked tumble to the bottom. With a lunchtime departure from Andelsnes and a full 24 hours of sailing ahead, it was a risk only a fool would dare take. Lunch was another triumph, and yes, I know what you're probably thinking. There are other dining venues on board, and don't worry, we'll get to those. One of them was yet another brilliant experience, but for now, we couldn't tear ourselves away from our lovely team in Rost. Naturally, after lunch, with wine leaving us with a full-on food coma, we spent most of the afternoon off our weary feet in the 1893 bar, soaking up stunning panoramic views while sipping our way through the cocktail menu, all in the name of research, of course. But we did manage to tear ourselves away from the bar long enough to attend the first of many cookery demonstrations by the executive chef up on the observation deck. Because if there's one thing better than eating amazing food, it's watching someone else cook it for you first. Good evening. Tonight we have gone for the Epleslang. I've forgotten how to say it. Which means scrumping apples. And Helen's gone for a malt sour, which is cloudberry. See how that turns out. Before we knew it, it was time for another round of signature cocktails, followed by yet another sensational 5-course dinner at Rost. Life at sea was proving to be as indulgent as it was scenic. Okay, we're ready for the knock. Oh, not that way. Oh! With a relaxing morning of uninterrupted sailing, we joined our fellow guests and the Coastal Experience team on the top decks, basking in glorious weather and breathtaking views. Along the way, we sailed past 2 legendary Norwegian landmarks. The hole in the rock, self-explanatory, it's a hole in the middle of a mountain. Still mind-bendingly intriguing, though. How did it get there? Does anyone have a drill bit that size? We also sailed past the Seven Sisters Mountains, a stunning range shrouded in myth and thankfully not cloud today. According to local legend, the peaks are 7 troll sisters who were caught by the sunrise while fleeing and turned into stone, a tale that adds a mythical charm to their already awe-inspiring presence.
Well, good morning from the beautiful coast of Norway. It is today. We're heading to Trana, and
which is a cluster of over 100 islands, and we're doing an island hopping excursion.
this is late morning. Well, it's actually 12 now, so we're going to go and get a little bit of lunch before we go this afternoon. We're on the promenade deck, and the Trollfjord has a full promenade, and it goes all the way around. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
We're doing a few laps before lunch, build up some appetite before lunch.
I'm already hungry, Helen.
Are you? I'm not.
Yeah, I'm always hungry.
With a pre-booked afternoon excursion in Trona, we opted for a quick but oh-so-satisfying lunch at Arran, the brasserie-style dining venue on Deck 5. Stylish, comfortable, and home to a consistently delicious bistro menu featuring a scrumptious choice of Norwegian-sourced dishes. Arran quickly became our go-to lunch spot. By the end of the voyage, we'd practically eaten our way through the entire menu. But today, it was all about the burgers. As we left the restaurant, I suddenly decided that an Arctic Circle baseball cap was an absolute necessity for the afternoon tour. Well, because obviously, what's an Arctic adventure without a themed hat? While Helen got ready, I embarked on a serious shopping mission in the ship's impressively well-stocked store. Just after lunch, we arrived in Trona, greeted by a rather unusual welcoming committee, and they don't get many visitors. Trona is no ordinary stop. This ancient fishing community boasts a human settlement dating back 9,000 years, making it one of northern Norway's earliest inhabited places. It's a wild, remote paradise with over 1,000 islands, islets and skerries, categorised by dramatic cliffs, rugged landscapes and endless seascapes. Despite its staggering history and landscapes, Trona is tiny, home to just 500 residents, making it one of Norway's smallest municipalities by population. Its economy relies on fishing and tourism, but it's best known for the Trona Music Festival, held every July. This legendary event attracts visitors from all over the world, drawn by the surreal combination of live music, midnight sun, and otherworldly island settings. Exiting the ship from the car deck, yes, you heard that correctly, we met our shore guide ready to explore one of the most remote and fascinating corners of Norway. Here we are in Trana, and we've just got to walk a little way to another pier to get onto the little boat we're going to go island hopping on. This is quite a big group today. We are in rural Norway for sure. Boarding our boat, we set sail for Sanna, a breathtaking island and also a bustling metropolis with a grand total of 2 full-time residents. We didn't stop, as the best view of its dramatic rugged landscape is from the water, and frankly, felt a little rude to disrupt half the island's population. Sanna is also one of the main sites of the aforementioned Trona Music Festival, which transforms this otherwise tranquil inlet into a buzzing, one-of-a-kind concert venue every July. As we continued towards Svalbard, we passed Sundøy and Holmen, 2 of Trona's tiniest and most secluded island communities, each home to just 1 permanent resident, which begs the question, is Amazon Prime a thing here? With stunning beaches and old harbours, seemed like an idyllic, albeit extremely quiet place to live. After a scenic detour, we approached Svalbard, Trona's second largest island, and disembarked. Our first stop, what used to be the island's primary school until it shut down a few years ago. It now serves as a village hub, hosting a library and a gym. Because even in tiny island communities, it's all about the gains, bro. Here we met one of Selvor's 50 residents, who gave us an insight to the surprisingly unique jobs that sustained island life. These included collecting and cleaning eiderdown, yes, the stuff that makes luxury duvets, and diving for hand-harvested seaweed. It was fascinating, but also hard to imagine living somewhere so peaceful, remote, and completely removed from the modern chaos.
This church is unbelievably cute.
Back on board the MS Trollfjord, we resumed our ongoing scientific research into the ship's cocktail menu before indulging in another 5-course masterpiece at Rost. But tonight was special. We were about to cross the Arctic Circle, and obviously such a milestone could not go unmarked. We didn't personally take part in the rather eccentric Arctic Circle ceremony, choosing to sip a customary glass of aquavit as we laughed at others getting the cold shoulder from our mischievous captain, who looked suspiciously like she was enjoying it rather too much.
So we have 2 shots of the Hurtigruten aquavit for crossing the Arctic Circle. So cheers. We are in the Arctic Circle, folks. Look at that. All of a sudden it all becomes very alien, doesn't it? Don't you think?
All this was happening as we sailed towards Svartesen Glacier, Norway's second largest glacier, arriving just before midnight because apparently in Norway the most breathtaking sights happen when you should technically be asleep. In the dark. The next morning we gathered on the observation deck for yet another scenic highlight, the Lofoten Wall. This dramatic range of mountains creates the illusion that ships are sailing directly into a solid rock face, and the sight of it was as dramatic as its name suggests. The scene in front of us looked like something out of Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings. Unsettling as that sounds, what lied ahead was not an angry trio of dragons or an army of frenzied trolls, but the charming fishing village of Rain. Arriving at lunchtime, we decided to grab a bite in Flora, the main dining room on board. Breakfast and lunch here are buffet style, while dinner is an a la carte affair. With a Norwegian-inspired menu, there was always plenty of variety, fresh ingredients, and most importantly, delicious food, even though some of the names of the dishes did remind me a little bit of an IKEA showroom. Nicely nourished with Nordic nutrition, we set out independently to see what Rain had to offer. Because if there's one thing we learned quickly on this trip, is that Norway always has something incredible up its sleeve.
Well, hello, and welcome to the afternoon in Ren. It's such a cute little, quaint little place. Anyway, Helen, tell us about Ren.
So Ren is an important picture-perfect fishing village and has been since 1743. It's one of the most photographed landscapes in all of Norway. Where the red painted roar of the earth cling to a string of islands beneath sharp mountain ranges reflected in the water below. Also, it is famous for fish drying. There's all these racks here where between February and June would be fish hanging from them, but they've all been taken away now to be processed. It's like a vineyard for dried fish.
I can't imagine what it looks like when all these are full of fish.
Yeah, what it smells like.
You may have noticed, discerning viewer, that I have a new hat on today from the Hurtigruten shop on board. And as you can see, it says Arctic Circle. And I'm officially allowed to wear it today because we are inside the Arctic Circle, aren't we? You wouldn't believe it though, would you? It's like summer in Brighton here. Look at this beautiful cafe bar. Everyone's sitting outside, the flowers are blooming. This is supposed to be the Arctic Circle. You know, foxes and polar bears and basically cold things.
That says Rain Ruber up there, look.
What is the Rain
It's
Ruber?
obviously that red building is what we saw.
Ah, okay. So all these here are all sort of historic-y things, are they? Wow. Would you look at that? Absolutely stunning. I mean, that is a well-beaten view, that, isn't it? A little bit further round, look at that for a view. We have the ship right over there. Look at that. Spectacular. Well, we are currently about 2.5 kilometres into the walk. We could just keep going, but we've got afternoon tea booked in for 3 p.m, which is, I'm sure, something the viewers would absolutely enjoy, given the...
I don't think we'd enjoy it at all.
No, I think it... Well, we have to do it. We have to take one for the team, don't we? You may or may not believe we are about 300 kilometres north of the Arctic Circle, yet it's so blooming hot I had to take my gilet off, and I'm sweating underneath the hat. It's my Arctic Circle hat. It's not supposed to heat my head up. Did you know, Helen,
Right,
there's only about,
what's the
do you know what
road?
the population of Wren is?
No.
Between 3 and 350.
Wow.
Tiny. One of the most picturesque stops I think we've ever had on a cruise. We've hit the 5k mark, 20 minutes before afternoon tea, so I guess that's pretty good going.
After squeezing every last minute out of our 2 hours ashore and somehow racking up 7 kilometres on foot in the process, we were more than ready to collapse into our champagne afternoon tea at Rost. We kicked things off with a glass of Havets Bobbler, and I've got to tell you, the nerd in me was utterly fascinated by this very special and unique drink. Let me explain. Now, Havets Bobbler, literally meaning bubbles from the sea, is a unique sparkling wine found exclusively on Hurtigruten ships, created in partnership with Rathvinny Wine Estate in Sussex, England. Instead of cellars, thousands of bottles are submerged in Arctic waters, resting 30 metres below the surface on the Arctic sea floor for 8 months to 2 years. Cold, stable conditions and gentle currents refine the bubbles and round out the tannins, making for an exceptionally smooth sip. This sensationally sunken, sparkly stuff was paired with a local-grown tea from just a few kilometres outside Rain. Then Oscar, Rost's sommelier-turned-afternoon tea maestro, presented us with a circular wooden board piled high with the most exquisite sweet and savoury treats, all masterfully crafted by the insanely talented Isabella, Rost's pastry and breakfast chef extraordinaire. Full, happy, and with a mild sugar coma developing, we retreated to our sweet bay window to take in the sail out from Rain, basking in the ever-present beauty of the Norwegian Arctic coast.
Right, tonight I have gone for an Aran. It's on recommendation Nikolai, the most amazing mixologist I think we've met for a very long time, if ever. He's had a hand in most of these. In fact, he's probably designed all of these. I've gone with his recommendation. Helen's going with rhubarb spritz tonight. She's feeling fruity. And we are en route to Tromsø. Oh, the wonderful pianist has just started. As you can see, it's like a mill pond out there. Beautiful weather. We're following the edge of the coast. And then we're going to go into the inside passage all the way to Tromsø. What a great cruise this is turning out to be.
If this video has you itching to set sail on your own Hurtigruten cruise, we highly recommend Panache Cruises, the specialists in elite ocean, expedition, river and yacht-style cruising. Their multi-award-winning team has decades of experience in matching cruises with their perfect voyage, ensuring your cruise is as seamless as it is spectacular. With your own personal cruise connoisseur, no question is too big, no detail is too small. They'll handle everything, so all you have to do is pack and leave your front door looking fabulous. Visit their gorgeous website and start planning your dream cruise, like the one we've taken on MS Trollfjord. Oh, and when you call, please don't forget to mention Visit With Us. It helps support this channel at no extra cost to you, plus we often have exclusive treats and perks just for being part of the Visit With Us family. Check out our pinned comment for the latest little thank you gift. Thanks for listening. Let's get back on board.
Good morning from...
MS Trollfjord in Tromsø.
Anyway, this morning it's time for a coach tour.
It's the Arctic Museum, and then we're going up to the Arctic Cathedral, which is over the other side of the
river. Because Tromsø is on an island, isn't it?
Yeah, then we're going up the gondola, get a view of Tromsø.
So-
Day.
Cloudy day, 50% chance of rain, and we're just going to go and find out why they call this the Paris of the North.
MS Trollfjord had snagged a prime docking spot right in the heart of town. Meanwhile, a Princess cruise ship was parked way out on the outskirts, a reminder that small ship cruising has its perks. Polaria isn't your typical museum. It's an Arctic experience centre housed in a building that looks like collapsing ice floes. Inside, visitors can explore interactive exhibits, panoramic films and aquariums featuring Arctic marine life, all designed to educate and impress you. From climate change impacts to the unique wildlife of the North, Polaria offers a crash course in the life above the Arctic Circle. Polaria's resident bearded seals aren't just there to look adorable, although they do that effortlessly. Housed in a specially designed habitat, they take part in feeding sessions and training demonstrations, giving visitors a front row seat to Arctic seal life in action. But this isn't just for show. Polaria works with marine biologists to study seal behaviour, cognition and communication, gathering crucial data for Arctic wildlife conservation. The seals engage in enrichment activities and voluntary training, keeping them physically fit and mentally sharp, while helping scientists understand how these beautiful creatures adapt to extreme environments. With climate change threatening Arctic ecosystems, Polaria's research is more vital than ever, proving that this isn't just a tourist attraction, but a serious hub for Arctic wildlife conservation, with a little bit of seal cuteness thrown in.
Right, time to get back on the bus.
Next up, we crossed the bridge to the other side of Tromsø to visit the city's most famous landmark, the Arctic Cathedral. Except, spoiler alert, it's not actually a cathedral. Built in 1965, it's a parish church. But let's be honest, Arctic Parish Church doesn't quite have the same ring to it. In 1972, the striking glass mosaic, The Return of Christ, was added to the eastern side, not just for the artistic flair, but according to our guide, to stop the early morning sunlight from blinding Sunday worshippers. On the west side, there's an equally impressive organ with 2,490 pipes, installed in 2005. Very cathedraly. But if you're wondering where Tromsø's actual cathedral is, well, it's on the other side of the bridge, made entirely of wood and far less famous because apparently architectural flair and big colourful windows win every time.
Regular viewers to this channel will know that I'm not the biggest fan of cable cars. And yet here we are. Dodged one a couple of days ago. Don't think I'm going to get out of this one. I'll get a good view over Tromsø though. So there's that. Right, we are up the top of the hill. We survived. And we're just going to go and have a look at what's over this ledge. As the cable car is on the mainland, this is the mainland Norway. Tromsø is basically on an island. What an incredible view. And we're really lucky because the rain's held off and the temperature is good. Helen's gone off again. She wants to go and touch snow, but I think it's a little bit further than she probably thinks. She's only got to wait till we get to Longyearbyen and then she can touch all the snow she wants. Okay, we're out on the top deck now. On the top of the centre, we are on an overhang, which is actually quite...
Wow. Oh.
Look at that. Just had a look at the Roald Amundsen statue, which is something that the nerd in me wanted to do. Oh, this is very nice, isn't it? We've been very lucky actually that it hasn't rained. We're going to try and find the most northern brewery in the world and have a beer because it is lunchtime.
Ulhallen, Tromsø's oldest pub, has been serving beer since 1928, making it a legendary drinking spot in the Arctic. Originally a hangout for fishermen, hunters and polar explorers, it's now mainly a hangout for people made of lesser stuff, us tourists. Ulhallen offers more than 70 Norwegian craft beers, including those from Mack Brewery, who owns the pub and used to be next door and was the world's northernmost brewery until Svalbard stole the title. The Cads. Fun fact, for decades, Ulhallen only allowed men inside, but thankfully that outdated rule changed in 1972. The bar is also home to some rather interesting locals, including a stuffed polar bear, who silently judges your beer choices. If you want to sip your way through Norway's Arctic brewing history, this is the place to do it. And that's exactly what we did.
We've gone for the Mack Classic. It's a beer flight. Lee will have a beer flight. Only a small one though. Cheers everybody. Welcome to Tromsø.
That's an unfiltered beer.
This is an unfiltered something.
Bit. And we actually saw snow.
Did you touch the snow?
I didn't touch the snow. It was too far away actually. I think I'd have panicked about getting...
I think I gave a little monologue when you wandered off. I'm like, oh, here she goes again. She's going to try and touch the snow, but it looks miles away.
I got close to it, but yeah.
Okay, on to beer number 4, which is called what?
Hackle.
Hackle.
Darker, they're getting...
They're getting darker and more intense. And this pub...
Mack beers on the ship as well.
Can you?
Yeah. The ship isn't actually leaving Tromsø until about 9. But we've all got to be on board by 4 so that they can start loading it up for Svalbard.
Again, this is another thing about sustainable cruising. I think it's brilliant. Obviously, it's part of their heritage. But Hurtigruten, they take goods and services along with them.
With our time in Tromsø running out and the rain finally catching up with us, we finished our beers and had a wander back to the ship, taking in some of the sights of the town along the way.
This is the Troll Museum, apparently the only troll museum in the world. And this is the Trollfjord, apparently the only Trollfjord ship in the world, because obviously there's the Trollfjord. Good evening from the 1893 bar, pre-dinner, Tromsø. I had a bit of bad news on the weather. It's coming in, as you can see. And we've got Honningsvåg tomorrow, where we'll go and see the North Cape, and then we've got quite large seas on the crossing to Svalbard. So tonight we are drowning our sorrow with an epleslang and a peachy plum. That'll cheer us up a bit. Good morning from Honningsvåg.
As you can see, the weather's turned a little bit. No more sunny skies and warm weather.
So we're in Honningsvåg, which is the most northern part of the mainland. And the weather has indeed become Norway again.
We've just docked, so we're about to get off the ship and just have a wander around, just see what's in the town. We have an excursion up to the North Cape, which is about 20 kilometres north of here. Cape, so we're going up there, but that's not until this afternoon. So we're going to go and have a wander around the town and just have a look around, see what's here.
And we've got a perfect excuse to try out our new apparel.
Yes.
The Hurtigruten hat and the beautiful Hurtigruten jackets. We haven't had a chance to use them yet because, well, it's been basically summertime, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But now it's definitely gone to the midst of winter.
We're going to check out the waterproofness of these jackets.
We are. Anyway, let's go and have a look around Hollisborg, see what we can see. Right. Hello, Honningsvåg. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's wet and cold. Very wet and cold. It's the famous dog. It's a big dog. I don't think it's the dog, but it's a statue of the dog. Cute little Nordic church there. There's the war memorial. Helen's going into a graveyard. Where's she going now? Graveyard in the rain. Quite a big graveyard. Wow. Got to admit though, they are very pretty gravestones. Very pretty. We thought we were going to come down here and get a lovely view of the Trollfjord with the Sutty behind it, and then this Havila ship turns up, and it's like when a very tall man sits in front of you in a theatre and you can't bloom and see a thing. That's this ship. We've got a nice view of them both though.
Making our way back to the town centre, we found a few little spots to take pictures of, which were very pretty, and we couldn't resist a stop off at the Christmas House, the local Christmas shop, which is actually quite well known around these parts.
Oh, I wish it could be Christmas every day.
It's Christmas every day, look.
This has made me feel really festive. Ah, purchases made. Let's head back to the ship. So we've come to Flora for lunch. They've got the name of where we are on the menu, and inside you've got all 4 languages. This is nice, isn't it? It's a little bit of information about the dishes, and then you have the dishes from today's buffet. That's great, isn't it?
Next up was an hour-long coach ride that would take us through the Arctic tundra, homeland for the Norwegian reindeer, to the northernmost point of mainland Europe, over 71 degrees north and 307 metres above sea level, known famously as the North Cape. But about halfway there, something rather unexpected happened. Well, we interrupt this programme to bring you breaking news. We've got a puncture. So we're right in the middle of the Arctic tundra, and the coach has got a flat. We have to see whether we make the North Cape or not, or whether we're stuck overnight in the tundra with the reindeer.
And we have another bus. Breaking news. We have another bus. This one's not quite so luxurious, but we'll get there. Welcome to the North Cape on this beautiful, clear, sunny day. Shall we go and see if we can see anything, Helen? Look at this centre here. I thought it was just going to be the globe. We've got gifts, we've got somewhere to throw money. Look, there's always that. Here's the globe, the famous North Cape globe. There it is. That's all we can see, I'm afraid. We're at the end of the world. It's the end of the world as we know it. I mean, to be honest, that could have been raining. Trying to make it sound more positive. But at the end of the day, it is a viewpoint, and we have no view, and it's cold. But our guide said, if the wind is so strong, you can see the wind. This is rivaled by our Taj Mahal at dawn experience, where we got up at watch the vlog, it's fun. But we had a Taj Mahal at dawn excursion, and we got to the Taj Mahal and it was like this. And you couldn't see the Taj Mahal at all, like you can't see the North Cape here. It's scenic excursion 0, fog 2 so far. And we've come back after being in the gift shop, and the fog is lifted. Look at that. Wow.
What started as an annoying flat tyre turned out to be a bit of a blessing. While the other tour groups were whisked away in the fog, as we arrived fashionably late and with a later departure, we were there to see the North Cape in all its breathtaking glory. Sometimes a little bad luck is not bad at all. With the ship waiting patiently for our delayed return, a solid perk of booking excursions through the ship, we stepped back on board, and the moment the last foot hit the deck, we were off. Leaving the mainland behind, we set sail for a 2-day crossing over the Barents Sea to Svalbard and the Arctic wilderness.
Tonight's cocktails are brought to you in association with Finnegan and Sea Bands. Cheers. So we're sailing past the North Cape before we head north. And you can really see the sheer drop off that cliff. That's 304 metres, something like that. 1,000 feet around that. Crazy big.
The predicted waves on the Barents Sea didn't stop us enjoying another 5-course dinner in Rust before calling it an early night in preparation for what we predicted might be quite a moving night's sleep. Sailing from the North Cape to Svalbard means taking on the Barents Sea, a stretch of Arctic water that is notoriously unpredictable. Wedged between the Norwegian Sea and the Arctic Ocean, it's often a battleground for ferocious winds, powerful currents, and waves that can make even the most seasoned sailors reconsider their life choices. Sure, summer crossings can be smooth, if you're lucky, but this sea loves a good plot twist. One minute you're gliding along, the next you're holding on to your lunch as waves several metres high turn your relaxing voyage into an unexpected theme park ride. Still, the local wildlife might be around to have a bit of a laugh at your expense. Keep an eye out for them. They're very fun to watch. Takes your mind off it as well. You want adventure on this cruise? You got it. Slap bang in the middle of the crossing is quite a fascinating and extremely spooky piece of land. Bear Island was named in 1596 when 2 Dutch explorers stumbled upon it and, in a very literal approach to naming things, encountered a polar bear. This rugged remote landmass sits halfway between mainland Norway and Svalbard, and technically is part of Svalbard, boasting towering cliffs, brutal weather, and a thriving and very hardy wildlife population. Despite the Barents Sea doing its best to ruin Helen's appetite, I managed to persuade her to join me for a light lunch at Arran. While she nibbled on a salad and fish cakes, I heroically tackled a delicious reindeer flatbread, and naturally a couple of desserts. Luckily, as the day wore on, the seas calmed, and by morning we awoke to blue skies and smooth sailing as we approached the Svalbard archipelago. What we didn't know was that this day would turn out to be one of the most exciting yet. But that's a story for part 2, where we explore the most northern inhabited town on Earth, before heading back south on a voyage that gave us a completely different adventure on the way back to Bergen.
Are you ready for some speed?
I'm ready.
For more on this incredible adventure, watch this next. Thank you.